like to call to order
Yeah.
the meeting of the Monday, May 7th, 2018 Monona City Council. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Groupie.
Here.
Alder Moore.
Here.
Alder Spate.
Here.
Alder Wood.
Here.
Alder Coor.
Here.
Mayor O'Connor.
Here.
Alder Kitzler is excused.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and I'd like to welcome Alder Coor to her, or no, Alder Groupie, sorry, to her first meeting. That was a year ago. I'm sorry. Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the April 16th and April 17th meetings?
So moved.
Second.
Any changes or additions? I think Joan Alder Kitzler had a spelling correction.
That was in the closed session minutes, and that's been noted.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you. Okay, if hearing nothing else, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. There are no appearances, there is no public hearing. Consent agenda, and we have a lot on the consent agenda tonight because it's that time of year when everyone renews their licenses. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Council action items. 1A, consideration of application for 2017-2018 Class B liquor license for Mr. Brew's Tap House, Monona LLC, doing business as Mr. Brew's Tap House, 301 West Broadway, Suite B, Monona, Wisconsin, 53716. And this is put forth by the License Review Committee. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Alder Wood?
Well, one thing I wanted to note, since we met last, in a regular meeting, there's been a change. We've had David's Jamaicans closed their Monona location and moved up the road to a Madison address. So they surrendered their Class B liquor license, I think today or Friday. So we're making it official that we currently have three licenses, one of which is sort of planned to go to the Riverfront project, but that would still leave two. I mean, I don't know what the plans are for the old David's Jamaican location. Maybe it's, I don't know, staff might know, but anyway, that's really the only thing I would have to add.
Joan, did you happen to have anything to add about that, or?
Nothing is set in stone, but what I had heard is that a possible Italian pizza restaurant then the assumption would be just a beer and wine license, not liquor.
Okay. Are there any other comments, questions? Alder Moore?
Yeah, I guess I would like the council to consider putting to rest the notion of we're serving craft cocktails versus regular cocktails, or shots versus a finger up neat, or tequila versus whiskey. It is because certainly as I view it, hard liquor is hard liquor. So I guess I found some of the conversation at our last meeting to be a little bit. It was troubling for me anyway at the last, because I felt like we were kind of parsing between what kind of liquor or whether it was a craft cocktail or not, and I personally was struggling with it, and so in that regard, while I'm a little nervous about not having any other licenses to give out should something come along for Monona, something else come along, some other business development opportunity. I guess I would be leaning towards either approving both licenses for the two that have applied, or frankly, if we were only going to apply one, that we have, since we have two to give, my interest would be in probably going in a different direction, and supporting a local small business.
Okay, anyone else?
Just
Alderwood?
Yeah, I guess kind of respond to some of that. So, I agree that hard liquor is hard liquor in terms of consumption. The point I was trying to make in the discussion about the handcrafted cocktails was that there's either none or perhaps one other location in Monona, and in fact, that you have to go up to almost to the Shanks Corner neighborhood to find another place that serves those. So provide a service that we currently don't have, a type of service that we don't have. In terms of referencing that La Rosita's would be serving tequila drinks, that's what they represented to us.
Right.
The concern isn't that it's tequila or rum or whiskey. My concern is that they might not be really adequately using the license, that we would give it to somebody that it wouldn't really be enough to make a big difference in their business success. I mean, I have other reservations about the license for them, but that's, I guess we've given them in the past. In fact, one of them I'll say now was David's Jamaican, a license, and it was kind of similar, that they served rum drinks along with beer, fitting the theme of the restaurant and their national origin. But I don't think they didn't sell very much of it, and it wasn't. But it used up an entire license when we're under this quota from the state. That's we have a limited number to give. So, that was one. There's another one or two that we've granted in the past that I later felt was a mistake, that they weren't utilized enough to make a difference in the success of the business, and then we were pinched for if we had development projects coming in to come up with a license. So it wasn't like I wasn't making a preference for whiskey over tequila. So.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't suggesting that you were, Alderwood. I was just saying that in general, I felt like, there was some discussion around type of liquor, and I guess my feeling is that if it has the potential to help a business, that's a good thing. And if it doesn't help the business and the business really struggles and goes out of business, then that license is available again. So I certainly haven't looked, as an example, at Dave's Jamaican enough to know whether the rum really did make a difference. For all we know, it did make a difference, and that's why they're moving to a bigger, restaurant space. So, but certainly appreciate what you're saying.
Alder Court?
I know I was one who had lots of concerns about this, and I don't feel like the case was made for this to significantly impact their business. So if that's the argument we're using to approve, I would hesitate to approve it in that respect. I think that if there are concerns about La Rosita, for the same reason, like they're not, don't think they've made the case that this is going to significantly impact their business. If there are other concerns about La Rosita, like, for example, they haven't had a license for that long for the restaurant, then I think we should also lay that on the table for them. But yeah, I just don't think the case has been made for either location that it's going to significantly impact. In the same way that a new business would be impacted if we didn't have a license for them to give.
All right.
Alderwood?
So that is my other concern with La Rosita, is that they just were granted a Class A, or Class B rather, beer license, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, maybe, something like that. So I'd be hesitant to give them the full liquor license until we see more of how that goes. Again, for both of these, once, right now, we have basically almost complete discretion of whether to grant them or not. Once they're granted, they obtain constitutionally protected property interest in the license, and it becomes, a very difficult, onerous process to revoke them. So, just, exercise caution in that. As far as whether they made the case or not, the guys from Mr. Brews are here. I thought I'll say this, they certainly presented more detailed information of the basis for their numbers than La Rosita did at license review and here, so.
Alder Spade.
I think the only comment I would make, because I share these concerns about kind of how we're going to parse these very limited licenses to different businesses, but from my perspective, and Alder Wood, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to me that when an establishment has a history of exercising responsible use of a liquor license, and I think that Mr. Brew's Tap House has responsibly exercised their license, and we don't have a history of incidents or concerns with that establishment, that for me is a stronger criteria for granting them this additional license. I think along those same lines, that's what you're suggesting about La Rosita, that they perhaps need to prove themselves with the liquor license they've just been granted. I think that's a fair way to parse these limited resources. But given that, I don't think we want to say that we're not willing to grant the Class B license to an initial applicant that has a business model that's contingent on it. And of course, that's what we're talking about doing for the restaurant that's going in to the riverfront development. So I just think it's important that we're consistent with a fair standard. And I think that's part of what point is being made here. I was a little, well, I guess the fairest way to say it is some of the arguments that were made in support of granting the license to Mr. Brew's Tap House just didn't matter to me. But I do think it's true that we want a diversity of businesses, both in the cuisine and the type of alcohol that would be served. And they certainly made the case that what they are offering with their Class B license is not something that's readily available. Yes, you can get a cocktail over at Waypoint, but they also are an establishment that specializes in a lot of tap beer. And so anyway, I think the points have been made.
Mayor, if I could just ask, because is it not the case that La Rosita, the grocery store, has been at least selling beer for their, yeah, so they have,
Right.
So while they're not selling beer over the counter, they do, as a grocery, as a market, they do sell.
Right.
Six
do.
packs, you mean, or
Yeah, they have
not
it's
glasses of beer?
packaged beer.
Right, packaged goods, right.
I think License Review Committee definitely looks at that business, very,
Sure.
very different
Sure.
from
Absolutely.
serving drinks to
Yep.
people.
Yeah,
Because you don't have to, if you sell it to them, then it's up to them how they consume it. Whereas if you're, selling it to them, then you have responsibility for what they do as they
Right.
consume it. I think Alder Spate made, some good points. Certainly past history, is important. I think if Mr. Bruce had a negative history, that would have counted against them. With regard to the new restaurant in Riverfront, my understanding is they do have a track record at their other location, but other than that, I don't know anything about them or what their track record really is, so that when that actually comes before us, those things will be things we'd certainly look at.
Anyone else? Okay. If there's nothing else, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
I'm sorry, can we get that?
So
That
Roll
was.
call vote.
do we have a roll call,
Let's
Joan?
do a roll call, yep. Alder Kerr?
Nay.
Alder Groupie?
Nay.
Alder Moore?
Nay.
Alder Spate?
Aye.
Alder Wood?
Aye.
Okay, motion is defeated. On to the next item, B, consideration of application for 2017-2018 Class B liquor license for La Rosita Mexican Buffet LLC, doing business as La Rosita Mexican Buffet, 6001 Monona Drive, Monona, Wisconsin, 53716. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second for the purposes of discussion.
Okay. Any, Alder Wood, do you have anything to say? As the license review
I don't
person?
think anything really new. We've sort of talked about, I think the biggest concern with them is, again, that they don't have any experience other than like 2 months or so of selling beer in the restaurant. And again, because once you grant these, they're very difficult to get back. I'd like to see them, how they do, with selling just the beer first, and then, they could reapply.
Anyone else? No? Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm sorry, did you say aye?
I said aye. Yeah.
All in favor, anyone else? All in favor, say nay.
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 Or opposed?
Yeah.
All opposed say
All opposed, say nay. All opposed, say nay. Okay,
nay.
Nay.
motion is defeated. Okay, item... Oh, I would like to move the closed session to the end of the meeting so that Dan and Ryan can go home. I think these next couple items are not going to take much time, so if that's okay with everyone. So we will move on to new business, item 2A, consideration of resolution 18-5-2263, award of bid for 2018 street resurfacing project put forth by the Public Works Committee. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. The request for a bid award appears tonight for the first reading. It's for the 2018 street resurfacing project. We received bids on April 19th from 3 contractors to complete the mill and overlay and full depth asphalt replacement on a few city streets. We're looking at mill and overlay on Shore Acres from Dean north to Parkway, mill and overlay on Roygan Terrace, and then full depth replacement on Greenwood from Bridge Road to LaBelle and on Christie Circle. Approximately total distance of 3,672 feet, just under 3/4 of a mile. Wolf Paving provided the low bid for a combined amount of $149,196.89.
Does anyone have any questions? Alderwood?
At finance, I'd asked about the total length of roadways that we're doing this year, and I think you have that now.
Yes. Shore Acres, approximately 2,040 feet. Roygan Terrace, approximately 1,155 feet. Greenwood is 317 feet, and Christie Circle, 160 feet. Total distance, approximately 3,672 feet.
And how long is the alternate?
The alternate is 317 feet. Alternate is Greenwood.
And then following up on that, do you know approximately how many miles you're hoping to do with the other street maintenance projects like microsurfacing?
We will not be doing microsurfacing this year.
Okay.
We have $200,000 to complete the road maintenance this year. I reduced that last year, coming into this year, knowing that we have the riverfront project coming up.
Okay.
But we will be doing some concrete replacement on Femrite Drive, similar to last year. We will do our infrared heat repair again this year, and then we also have some minor asphalt patching that our crew can complete. So the balance of the $200,000 will be used up on those three projects.
Okay. The reason I ask is then that sounds like we're doing about 0.8 of a mile or so this year, and at that rate, won't we fall behind in street maintenance, given the mileage, total mileage we have?
You typically do the microsurfacing on your better rated streets, pays a rating 6 and 7. I'm not saying we're in perfect condition, we're not. But we, looking at the roads last year at this time, I was thinking that we could go a year without the microsurfacing. We do have a number of roads that are 6 and 7. There's probably about 10 to 12 roads that are on that list for microsurfacing, and we'll bring those back for next year. But it's up to Public Works Committee and City Council at capital budget time
Right.
where that figure lands. So.
Anyone else, Alder Spate?
So Dan, I got about 3 hours sleep last night, but it's my recollection that we approved this at our Public Works
Yes.
Committee meeting. And
Yes.
so given that, and given that there weren't any concerns, I would ask that we take this item out of order, or I would move that we take this out of order
Second.
for immediate approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
As a
All in
resident
favor,
of Shore Acres, I thank you.
Yes, a lot of people do. We've had some complaints, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next up is item 2B, consideration of ordinance 5-18-698, establishing no parking here to corner at the Industrial Drive and Kilgus Road intersection, also put forth by the Public Works Committee. Dan?
Thank you, Mayor. This topic is here, starting out at the request of the PD. They've received a number of complaints this year and I think last year as well. At West Kilgus, as you're sitting at the stop sign trying to enter industrial, you have a hard time seeing oncoming traffic coming from the west. The PD looked into the crash data, and there's been 3 crashes there, one each of the last 3 years. Just in the last week alone, we've had 2 complaints on the parking on industrial. So this topic was also at the Public Works Committee last week, and we did receive their recommended approval. We're seeking no parking here to corner on industrial and on Kilgus, both at the southeast corner and on the southwest corner. I provided a map in your handout, probably a little easier to look at that than to try and understand my whereas in speaking here, but basically from the center of the radius on industrial at the southwest corner, we're going to go back 50 feet for no parking. And at that same radius, we're going to go south on Kilgus 50 feet. You jump across the intersection to the southeast corner. The Public Works Committee change, they increased that to 65 feet from 50 feet on industrial, and then on south of that radius, 50 feet. So we're looking to sign all four legs of that area.
Alder Spate?
I'll move to take this item out of order and ask for immediate approval.
Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed?
Yes,
Alderwood?
sorry. I guess I didn't wait.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah.
Would Alderwood like to?
Alderwood, would you?
Because it's changing a traffic regulation that we don't, it's possible if we wait 2 weeks, we might hear from somebody that would have a beef with the change. So that's my only, I don't know, were the property owners adjacent to this?
No, we did not contact them. No, this is strictly for the sightline vision at the intersection.
Right, so I guess, I mean, it's hard to argue with that, so,
Different than no parking that we've brought in the past for truck alignment and stuff like that.
right, so, yeah.
Anyone else? Alder Spade?
I just would say that I appreciate that hesitancy. We did discuss at Public Works the fact that there are other streets there in the vicinity that will remain open to parking, and I believe that Kilgust is essentially, both sides of Kilgust will have parking on them, and we suspect that that will take up the overflow from a couple of spots lost at this intersection. Given the safety concerns, I would remain comfortable going ahead and expediting this. So.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Next item, 2C, consideration of Resolution 18-5-2264, award of contract for the library vestibule project, put forth by the Library Board. Is there a motion to take this out of order?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Ryan?
So thank you. This is for the vestibule project going on Schluter Road and redoing the storefront here behind me off of Nichols. We received 5 bids on April 20th, and Meyer Construction was the low bid that we are receiving at $136,900. So that is the bid we're going with.
And could you explain a little about why it's over?
Oh, sorry,
bid and-
yes. So originally we
estimate.
budgeted for $120,000 for this project. Over the course of assessing it, we had run into a few new obstacles. One is I don't know why I keep blanking on this, the vault up by the Schluter Road where it used to have a transformer in, so now it's just a giant empty space, I think like 8 to 10 feet deep. We're going to be filling that in. The piers or support beams that supports me out here is cracked and needs to be fixed before I fall down. And the inner door, well, the door now, but will be the inner door when the vestibules are built. That door originally we're going to just keep as is, but the door is not closing and it needs to be replaced and fixed. So the door locks keep people out. And then finally, originally there was going to be concrete boards as the material for the vestibule, and through the plan commission process that's been changed to brick to match the original building, and that is more expensive than the boards. Was the reason for the overage.
So this item will approve the contract. The next item will take care of how we're going to cover the overage. Are there any questions about this one, about approving the contract? Alderwood?
I guess more a comment that at finance, well, you had said, Ryan, that for the vault and the piers was roughly $9,000
To my recollection, yes.
of the cost. And those are, while it's a good idea, I think, to do them as part, at the same time we're doing this other work, they really aren't directly related to the vestibule project, but anyway, that accounts for 9,000 at least of the overage.
Anything else? Alder.
It was my understanding that the vault was a safety concern as well, that if there was cement over the vault, there was concern about failure.
That is correct, yeah. The cement looks like it's starting to degrade, as well as the original vents need to be replaced, so, or covered over, so, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Alder
I would just
Moore?
say, as chair of the facilities committee that also reviews this project, and just would reiterate that the columns, while not technically part of the vestibule, as Ryan pointed out, I don't think he's going anywhere, but the reality is that the way it was originally constructed with, it is in fact a safety issue that should be addressed, so.
I appreciate that.
As I told Ryan, this building, that part of the building was originally a porch.
Right.
So wasn't really meant to be having filing cabinets full of stuff on it and everything. Is there anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item, 2D, consideration of resolution 18-5-2265, amending the 2018 capital budget for the library vestibule project, put forth by the library board. Is there a motion to take this out of order?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
You got those, Joan?
I don't know who the second was. Molly or Alder Groupie was first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan?
So as just stated, that this is, originally the project was budgeted for $120,000. The bid that we're going with is $136,900, so to pay for that overage, we are using the library fund balance funds to cover that. It should be $16,900.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
This would be a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Will you please call the roll?
Alder Wood,
Aye.
Alder Core,
Aye.
Alder Groupie,
Aye.
Alder Moore,
Aye.
Alder Spate.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, next item, we'll move back up to item 1C, convening closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85, subsection 1, paren G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. This involves Four Lakes Yacht Club Incorporated versus the City of Monona et al. And Wisconsin statute section 19.85, paren 1, paren 3, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. This regards 6418 Bridge Road. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second? You got a second?
Alder
Yeah.
Wood.
Okay,
Second.
would you please call the roll?
Alder Core,
Aye.
Alder Groupie,
Aye.
Alder Moore,
Aye.
Alder Spate.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Okay, we are in closed session. We are back in session. Next item. Still looking?
Yeah, that's okay.
Reports of committees, commissions, boards, mayor, et cetera. Alder Groupie, do you have anything to report?
Not this time.
Okay. Alder Moore?
Not at this time.
Alder Spate?
No report?
Alder Wood?
Yes, I do. So this is my city council week, I guess. Tomorrow, we have license review. And then at 6 o'clock, the public information meeting for the pedestrian bicycle committee begins, which is at Winnequa Elementary. The presentation starts at 6:30, but the room will be open at 6, and I think there'll be some exhibits around there. Then Wednesday we have Landmarks Commission. And then just a bit of news. Last week I was chosen by the Dane County mayors and village presidents to serve on the Madison Area Transportation Planning Board, or Madison MPO. So first meeting for that is in June. That's it.
Alder Core.
I would love to announce that WVMO recently won 5 awards from the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, 2 of which were first prize, and they were competing in the large market radio category, which is pretty amazing for a low power FM station. So there were 5 altogether. 2 were first place. We had a third place, which was the Christmas Carol, which I know many of you enjoyed. And the 2 first place, the one was the Hooked on Monona Fishing Report, which I enjoy. And then the other was the best public service announcement for Cans for Cubs, which explained how to recycle pop and beer cans at the chili cook-off. So 5 awards. It's pretty amazing.
Cool.
Great job, WVMO.
Yeah. City Clerk Andrews.
This is Wisconsin Municipal Clerks Week. Go Clerks! And we are, Aline and I will be out of the office on Thursday to a Dane County clerk-sponsored event for clerks that will include training regarding elections and a presentation on how the electronic poll books went over. So kind of excited about hearing how that went over in Sun Prairie firsthand.
Wait a minute, so if you're a clerk, you get to go to train as opposed to go to a retreat or get a massage or something?
Yeah, this is public service.
It seems backwards.
To be, in all honesty, there used to be a free dinner, and you know, it was really fun. But many smaller communities did not allow their clerks to attend if there was not training. So now it's training and lunch is on our own, which is on the city, and just pointing that out. It's less of a rah-rah event than it used to be, but it's still a good networking opportunity. So we're still getting together with the pals. So it's all good.
Good. City Administrator Little.
Well, I had a few announcements, but the elders at this end of the table
Sorry.
beat me to the punch. But, oh, well, congratulations, WVMO again. So.
Okay, and I want to congratulate Doug on winning his appointment to the MPO. I guess I don't have any other announcements other than the Riverfront groundbreaking went very well. I think almost all of us were there, and some of us at least were at the unveiling of Bucky this morning down at Schluter. I don't know if any of the other alders were at the one at Winnequa, but a lot of people at Schluter, and
Yeah,
it was,
we had a
it was
nice
pretty
turnout.
exciting event. So I guess the only thing left is appointments, which are Sarah Whalen to the Senior Citizens Committee, effective immediately through April 2021. Mark Buffett to Sustainability, effective immediately through April of 2020. Brendan Stubby to the Facilities Committee, effective immediately through April 2019. And Elizabeth Pilioris to the Public Works Committee, effective immediately through April 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Appointments are approved. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.